And that is that there used to be this issue of royalty, collection of royalty and all that. And recently, I think MCSN has been recognized as the only collecting society in the country licensed to operate within the country. Is PMAN part of that, or how does that impact PMAN and its members?
First, if a contract with you, you cannot collect from musicians.
Okay.
That's one thing for sure. So what MCSN is doing, because there's an agreement between PMAN and MCSN to collect for our members.
Okay.
And because we're a trade union, for our member means whether registered or non-registered musicians. So MCSN is actually the ones that are licensed right now to collect royalties for musicians. And PMAN supervises that collection. PMAN makes sure that the corporate bodies pay. MCSN collects, and MCSN distributes to the members, to the owners of the rights. Of the rights, yeah.
Okay. Now, the process of collection should suggest that there's some level of registration, and you seem to have alluded to it when you said that whether you are a registered member or unregistered member.
That's for PMAN. That's for PMAN.
Yeah, I'm going to PMAN. So how does PMAN ensure that all musicians register?
Now, if you don't have to be a PMAN member before releasing a song. That's our work is to monitor that structure, that scene, that music, and music entrepreneurship and music performance. That's what we do. So, but to collect your royalties. Now, they've been collecting royalties. Some of them don't register in Nigeria, some of them register outside.
Outside, yes.
But first, to collect your royalties, which is not your master royalties, is your mechanical royalties, your performance royalties, your digital royalties, or your needle time. We call it neighboring right royalty, but it's needle time royalty for you and your members. For you to collect that, you need a CMO, a copyright management organization, to be able to collect that. And for you to collect that and register in your account, you need to be a member of the CMO.
Okay. In this instance,
MCSN.
MCSN.
You need to be a member because MCSN has a reciprocal agreement with other CMOs around the world.
Around the world. Okay.
So when they collect rights of Nigerian musicians and all that, they channel it to MCSN. MCSN collects it from them and distributes. So for you to get your money in Nigeria, not just collecting in South Africa or in Ghana or that, to collect it from Nigeria, you need to be a registered member of MCSN.
Okay, so that's MCSN. Now, PMAN. Is membership open to anyone who is into music, or who is an instrumentalist, or who is what? And how does that happen?
Now, to be a PMAN member, you need to be a musician. You need to be a music practitioner. You need to be a music producer. You need to be a music director. You need to be a music promoter.
A promoter?
Yeah. Because the union accommodates people that work around music.
Okay, around music.
Yes. Yeah. So that's it. Your DJs, your dancers. Now, the reason why they created that body, and I'm sure when my leaders created it, they didn't, maybe where it was just me and my team that found out that we're actually a trade union, not an association. They were calling it an association until we got hold of the certificates and all that. Now, the reason for government to give PMAN that certificate is so that you could protect the rights of the musicians and the music practitioners.
Okay.
So the music practitioners could be all those people that I mentioned. And why they need to register so that PMAN can take care of their welfare. Now, like what we created recently, once you register, you get automatic medical insurance. You get a life insurance in case of eventualities. You get a pension plan in case when you get to 65 to 70 and you want to retire from active performance. Then you also get a backup for legal assistance in case of contractual issues. If you know, recently since we came up, it has died down. Contractual issues, then visa assistance also. PMAN is the only body that can give you a notary document that will make any country give you a work permit to do your tour. So if you're going tours around the world or any country, they definitely need a work permit in that country. And the only union or association that can give it to you
from here
is a PMAN.
So now, you see where you spoke about welfare. You will come to expatiate on it, but let's talk about what propelled you to run for the presidency of PMAN.
Wanted to do things the right way. I'm this person that believes that our country can be the biggest and the most beautiful country on planet Earth if we have fantastic leaders. So I've always said that. I've always worked towards that, because I'm saying this because of how I've been able to manage my own company. Wanted to do something differently. The union was lying fallow until I was called upon. And I'll tell you again, they called me because I was successful in my own businesses.
What is the
elders in PMAN.
Name them. A few of them.
Kenny George, Zima Coy, Murphy Van Anthony. That's the era when they were having. So I came in and I said, okay, let's look at it. But we were able to build the structure now because I came in with the business background attitude. I came in and they were using some kind of funny lawyers, and I said, no, I need to bring my personal lawyer in here. I need to bring my personal accountant. I need to bring my personal finance director. So we started adjusting. We worked so hard, and we wanted to prove that, yeah, there might be some mistakes formally, but we're here now to take the union forward. And everybody can testify to what has happened. Recently, we purchased the first ever PMAN edifice for the past 40 years. And we moved the headquarters from Ikeja to the island. And then we're now springing up radio stations both in Lagos and Abuja. So
you have radio stations that are yours? Oh, that's good. Now, what's the significance of moving from Ikeja to the island?
Okay, we wanted to. I'm the middle school. If I should use the word, there's old school, there's new school, there's middle school. So me, Junior, and the rest of Sonny Neji,
people of your
Zaki, we're middle school. We're not new school. So actually, they voted us out, the younger ones. We have these other younger ones, Roger Man, Asha Gangali, and the rest.
Yes.
So when we got the fund to purchase the property, so I wanted to buy it in Ikeja. But the way I run the association, I run an open office. So we all voted. And I found out that it was only me and Sonny Neji that voted for Ikeja. The rest voted for Island. Like, what are we going to be doing on the island? What are we going to blah, 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 blah. But these boys sat us down and made us understand that the music industry has moved from Ikeja to Lekki. So if we want to get these boys to recognize, they know PMAN, some of them might know PMAN, but they don't understand the worth of PMAN. For them to understand that...
Or want to associate.
We need to buy the property where they reside, so where it's going to be closed. I doubted it, but again, we voted, so I allowed it. But I'll tell you the truth, at the time we purchased it, we're just doing all the renovation and all that. These boys still trooping in. The younger ones, the new car, the whole of them were trooping in. They were excited that PMAN that they know is has actually been revived and all that. So
it's like this is now our PMAN.
Now, no,
they have brought it to us.
Is their own PMAN now, because I keep telling them I'm old school. But the beautiful thing, like what we keep telling them, once I leave, we're handing over to the younger ones. They are running it. We won't do that same mistake that the older ones, they want to stay put there and all that. So we're actually bringing them on board for them to understand how the structure works and how what you must do to progress and what you will do that will make you fail. So that's where we are.
Now, you said something about welfare for musicians. Now, the welfare in the Nigerian sense, it seems as if someone just takes over all your responsibilities. Is this clearly defined?
Yes, it is. For your medical insurance, is for, first, for you to understand the structure, is a group.
It's a group life thing.
Yes, a group life thing.
Group health thing.
Yes, because we are huge in number. I actually didn't know that we're this large musicians. So we're able to negotiate a reduced rate for group life and all that.
Yeah.
If you're a PMAN member, you get opportunity to have 4 members of your family to be looked after with insurance.
Okay.
Now, the insurance is basic malaria, this bed rest, drip, but once it comes to critical ailment like kidney and that will require approval again from from ESCOs and all that. But the regular, you go to the hospital or your wife is pregnant, those ones have been taken care of. That's the welfare.
That's the basic one.
That's the basic one. Then the life insurance is for death and accident.
Okay.
In case of you have permanent disability.
Okay.
If it's not dead, permanent disability. So that there's a particular money that will go to you for permanent disability, and there's a particular money that will go to the member of your family for that. That is for life insurance.
All right.
Then for pension plan, once you're 65, 70, and you've submitted your application that you are retiring from active performance. Yeah, it happens, a whole lot of them.
They submit to the union?
They submit to the union that they are retiring from active performance. So once they submit that, the process will go on, and the particular musician will be getting 100,000 monthly.
Really?
Yes.
You're saying that PMAN has that kind of...
PMAN
has that kind of policy in place?
PMAN has more than that. PMAN is likened to American Union structure. Okay. That's the way we built it. And if you've been to our edifice, our office, that is the standard. Because we have Afrobeat that has taken over the world. So these people started visiting. Like the first week we opened with people from America, people from Sweden and all that. It's been happening to be hosting them. So if they come, because I've been to their own offices, if they come, they're like, how did you guys get this idea? How did you build it? I remember the American people, entourage that came said, this is more like their own office.
Are you kidding?
In Nigeria. So that's what we're trying to do. We're not seeing ourselves as, I don't like using the word, we're not seeing ourselves as third world country.
As far as PMAN goes.
As far as PMAN goes. You know, as Nigeria, because we have the highest natural resources. But I keep saying management has been the issue. But
that's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So that's the mentality that my team and I are working with. We are not seeing ourselves as lesser people or we're from the third world. We're seeing ourselves as God has given us everything, so we need to find a way to manage it properly.
But you see, you and your team seem to have come in with a vision. That vision we're going to discuss when we take this break. After this break, we'll come back and discuss it. Please stay tuned.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. On the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be able to when push comes to shove.
Yes, welcome back. Pretty Okafor, P-Man President, is still my guest. Your team has a vision. What's the broad vision?
Putting a geopolitical structure for the music industry. What we're doing in Lagos right now and what we're doing in Abuja, before I leave, I'm sure we would have imputed it in the remaining 4 geopolitical zones. Lagos has a music academy, right? So where musicians will come and learn rudiments of music and also business of music. So we're having that in Abuja, and we're having that in the remaining 4 geopolitical zones because we want to be able to match the international popularity that's already going before our brand of music. We're doing that so that musicians can have access to the facilities. Okay. Right. And these other facilities will also have the radio stations inclusive in these other facilities. That means at the end, yes, it will be a network. So it's a planned stuff. We are also building affordable homes for musicians.
Affordable homes?
Yes, in these geopolitical zones. We've already started. It's not I told you about the radio. Radio is already on. Yeah. Is on your Google Play Store now. But the equipment have arrived, so it's set up. So whatever I'm saying is what is going to is a legacy. What is going to be there after my tenure, after the tenure of my other parties.
You're sounding like somebody who has made up his mind that, okay, after this period, I'm not going to be directly involved in administration of the union again.
Yeah, because we've trained a whole lot of people.
How many years have you spent?
The years of the fight and the years of the settlement, or okay,
I've done of you being in the saddle.
I just done my first.
So how many more years do you have?
I'm supposed to round up by next year.
Is it just one term?
No.
So they can still bring you back now. You see, you're sounding like, oh no, I've had enough of this wahala. Yeah, I want to go and face something else.
No, because it took way too much on me. And
good things don't come easy.
And because I was smart enough, I was able to juggle my business and P-Man. But P-Man needs like 100% concentration.
Keep juggling.
And we were able to. But I also have my first vice. There's a first vice. There's a second vice. There's media. There's Rugged Man. There's Asha Gangali, Zaki Aziz, Sonny Neji, Two-Face, MI. So these guys, Terry G. So these guys are learning. They've seen the successes that we've been able to achieve. So they are learning. They can go from wherever. I won't decide on the next tenor.
No, yes, I will just wait. I will wait and say to you that there is the possibility that they will say, all right, let's have 4 more years of your time or 5 more years and all that. Because, you see, those geopolitical zones that you want to develop, they need the drive of someone who is the visionary. Apparently, you're the visionary. Yeah. They are supportive of the vision. They've bought into it. You can't leave it midway. You can't. So maybe I should start on their behalf, appealing to you, not to think of going anywhere. Because
no, sir, but I think I'm working with some of the smartest people in the industry.
I agree with that. And I congratulate you.
Thank you so much.
I congratulate you. Now, there's something about developing the music industry in Nigeria. You've spoken a little bit about it, but I want to particularly mention the issue of instrumentation, instrumentalists, singers going to learn how to sing, and then you said something about the business end of the music industry. How can we sustain these, our global attention now, if we don't intentionally train musicians and hold up musicianship as a way of life?
Like you mentioned, sir, the building those structures was because we wanted to sustain the growth of Nigerian music. The growth of, I keep telling people, is what God gave us, the growth of Afrobeat. Now, is there, but we need to sustain it for the next 30 years. And sustaining it means we need to put these structures in place. So those structures are coming with music academy, music school, business academy, business school, business of music school. Meaning you've gone to learn the rudiment, playing the guitars and all that and all that, learn to sing, write songs. But you now need to learn how to manage your talent, how to monetize every aspect of your talent, how you could coordinate the business of touring, the business of releases, record releases and all that. So that's the actual side. And that will create another empire, another brainwave of young people paying 100% attention to that business of music. So which is going to create the sustainability for our industry and the Afrobeat genre.
Yeah, but you mentioned something about managing the business of your talent, or the business of your talent. It's not everybody who can manage themselves, you know.
Yeah.
There must also be an intentional attempt to develop trust in others who can help manage.
Now, if maybe not all the superstars, A-listers, B-listers, and C-listers will have time to go to the school, right? But other music managers, business, your road manager and all that, they will go to the school. So now we're creating more employment. You, the artist, the talent, will employ those people that are already be certified as gurus when it comes to business of music management and employ them.
Okay.
So that extends, that also sustains your popularity, that also sustains your touring, that also sustains your monetization in every aspect of the business. Okay. So these people might not have the time to go sit in a classroom and learn all that. But the road managers, the artist managers, the tour managers can learn. And now the main artists will start employing them. So it's also expanding and creating avenue for more employment.
Okay. And this you will do in all the 6 geopolitical zones?
We're already doing it in 2.
In 2.
So we'll do it in the remaining 4.
In the remaining 4. All right. We'll take a break now. When we're back, we're going to visit the Bolanle days of Pretty Okafor. Stay tuned. You're welcome back. I still have Pretty Okafor. By the way, why do they call you Pretty?
My name is actually Pretty Roland Okafor. I'm actually from a royal home.
Okay.
But my first name, Pretty, is actually my native name. It's Machuku. It means beauty of God.
Yeah, no.
But my mother preferred
Pretty
instead of beauty.
Okay. Now, welcome back. We've been in the studio as we took a break. Now, Bolanle was a monumental hit of Junior and Pretty. It took you outside Nigeria, like you said. That's the album. But What would you say was responsible for the hit?
Because we were dealing with the commoners. It was the first time we bridged the gap between the young and the old, between the rich and the poor, between the high class and the low class. So everybody could understand the message. Everybody could understand the rhymes. Everybody could understand pidgin and even the vernacular, because we use the popular vernaculars. So people could associate with it. We didn't create music for one particular section of Nigeria, one particular section of people. So we created music for everybody.
Everyone.
So it was a drive that the music was for all individuals. But the truth is that we didn't even, me and Gina, we didn't even know that it was going to be that big. We didn't even know that people will accept it, because before we did Monica, we've been discouraged. Our demo tape has been thrown out from, yes, from, like I used Polygram, went to Polygram and they threw our demo tape like 5 times out from the window. And they were like, what are you guys doing? You want to do something better. But when our record label, Storm Record, discovered that this brand of music can actually sell, because they are talking to the crowd. And when they now ventured into it, releasing our first work, which is that Monica, it sold everywhere. It had sold them. They couldn't manage the hype. So they had to broker a deal for Polygram now to come into
Polygram that became Premier Music.
Yeah, the Polygram that became Premier Music. The same Polygram that threw away our demo.
Now came back.
So it was, so that's why even with live, I do not take no for an answer. And I don't believe that to say, yeah, it's not possible, it's not in my dictionary, I don't talk about it. Just work towards it. Consistency, keep working, it's going to work.
Okay, so that's like a life lesson for you. And it's something that you used to drive yourself, drive your vision.
Yes.
Now tell me about the day the P-Man House was opened. What was that like for you and for King Sunny Ade?
You know, a whole lot of the older musicians didn't even believe that it was going to happen. When we announced that we purchased our own house, first time, not rented, a whole lot of them didn't believe it. King Sunny Ade knows us. But again, he came because he wanted to witness. He wanted to be sure. And it's actually the first time I saw King when he came in, actually in my office, and he was speaking to me, and I saw King was
emotional
about, he said, I never thought that P-Man would ever succeed.
In his lifetime?
Yes, in his lifetime. And that he's happy. Why he's like this? He's happy because it's happening while he's still alive. And that was when King actually confirmed that the property actually belongs to P-Man. Not to Pretty and his team or to Pretty, So the excitement and, again, the surprise. Like, I like pulling surprises at people. When you think it's not going to happen, I like proving you wrong. So it keep happening. I'm excited because the older people are excited. If you get into the gallery of the foyer of P-Man, you see the past P-Man leaders there. You see the legends who are on a particular wall. You won't see us there. You won't see me and my escorts because we're serving. Maybe when we're done, our pictures will come there. But it shows that, yes, people also contributed. We respect, we appreciate them. But again, they paved the way to a better P-Man now.
Now, because there is a better P-Man now, there is the fear of continuation or continuity. How are you going to ensure? You know, I remember we were saying something like, don't run off, but there will be term or tenure limitation. Whenever that is up, how are we going to ensure that it doesn't go back again? Especially since it's been proven now that you have a large membership that is believing in the leadership. So how are you going to ensure that that belief is not wasted?
Sustainability. While managing PMAN, we're also training a whole lot of people. Fortunately, they've learned the structure of my business ethic. So this range of people that are working in PMAN now know about integrity and transparency. And that's the watchword. That's what has kept the union moving forward. And over the years, I've tested them in a couple of other things to handle. And I know that's why I said I'm fortunate to have the best brain, the best hand, the most sincere people working with me at this time. Along the line, a whole lot of people fell out of because again, you see, again when you're sincere and you're working in the truth and spirit, negativities will be falling off. So only the truth remains. So that's what has happened. I'm not scared. If I formally, I would say if I leave PMAN, they go sell the property. The radio station, they will sell it. But right now, if I leave, they can sustain it for the next, because there's a structure, there's a program, there's a rudiment of training that we've been able to put everybody through, and they're still going through it. So the structure has been monitored. That's why the structure has been monitored. Nobody can come in and do anything there because there's a trust that is monitoring the structure that's going on.
Okay. Okay, now, so you talk about development of trust, development of musicianship and trainings. Who are your partners for these academies that you are setting up?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
We have 10 strings.
Okay.
10 strings is, should I use the words? I think the biggest music institution for the younger age.
Okay.
Now, yeah, so we're partnering with 10 strings for...
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria, yes.
Okay.
We're partnering with 10 strings for that. We're partnering with an U.S. creative industry business group. We're partnering with a Canadian music business school too for this whole academies that we're building. And we have also partnership with a bank that saw interest in what we're doing, and they partner with us all this while in managing and regulating the industry for us.
Okay, but you talked of banks. Do banks support music now?
They weren't supporting music before, but right now they are supporting music. They are supporting music because of what we've been able to create. I could tell you a bit. If you're a card carrying member, if you're a registered member of PMAN, and you need a loan to do some particular things, and you go through your application to the ESCOs and it's approved, the bank will give you the loan.
Because you're guaranteeing it. Yes,
because they are not going to come to that particular musician anywhere he is in the state, in 36 states. They are dealing with the ESCOs. For the ESCOs to approve, that means they know that person, they know they can. Yeah, the ESCOs are going to monitor the growth of that person. So the banks, we have that agreement with the banks, and there's arrangement where we and the bank also monitor what they're doing with the money.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about the membership. You said you believe that you're over 5 million.
We are over 5 million. We're over 5 million because I break it down. A bit. I'll use the example of Burna Boy. Burna Boy is on tour. Now, Burna Boy is not on tour with himself alone, or himself and his band people. No, Burna Boy is on tour with his band people, his dancers, his management team. When I say his management team, his road manager, his music manager, his top manager. He's on the road with his fashion designer. He's on tour with his makeup artist.
Is the fashion designer also a member of Pima?
No, if he's a team,
Okay.
wardrobe. Okay, use the word wardrobe manager.
Okay.
He's the wardrobe manager. So so wardrobe manager that works with an artist is a member of Pima.
He's a member of Pima.
So his
must
DJ,
be registered.
Yes. So when he's on tour with about 60, 100, 120 people, they are all Pima members. So when we're designing this thing, like how many years back, I was wondering how come we're this much? How do we break it down until we started doing a couple of researches? At the time me and Junior started, just me and Junior were I think we're about 22 or 24. Yes, on the road. Because our
The
Peace
act,
band.
okay,
Our
the
Peace
act
band.
was 2.
The act was 2, but our
back,
band, another 14.
Yes.
Now you now have your manager, have your and all that are huge. I said, no. If 5 major artists to go on tour, they're already employing like about 500 people, or over 1,000 people. So you understand how. I'm also giving you the statistics so you understand how we're able to make money from purchasing.
Towards purchasing.
And
then sustaining your insurance policies.
Sustain our insurance policy and also be able to do our license for the radio and purchase the equipment for the radio.
Okay. So when are you likely to come on the air with your radio station? That's in the Lagos area?
Yes, in the Lagos area. Right now it's been installed.
Okay.
So all the equipment are in. So it's been installed, I think with, what do you call it?
Before the end of the year?
Yeah, it should be before the end of the year because they are coming to do the inspection and all that.
Inspection, okay. Okay, and then the zonal offices that you're planning, or let's not use the term offices, zonal operations.
Zonal operation, yes.
You understand me?
Geopolitical operations.
Geopolitical. The control is still going to be from the head of
It's going to be centralized.
Okay.
We don't want to leave any loophole in operation, right? Since we've gotten it right, we want to keep it that way. Okay. Because once there's a loophole, they take advantage of that. So what we've been trying to do since we got into PMAN is to close all the gaps and close all the loopholes. So the control is still going to be from Lagos. Even we have an office in Abuja, the control is still going to be from Lagos. So whatever that is happening in Abuja, happening in these other 4 geopolitical zones will be managed from the head office, Lagos.
And all the academies that will be over the 6 geopolitical zones, they're going to be running the same program?
They're going to be running the same program. Now, excuse me, because people in Calabar can't come to Lagos. Because if they come to Lagos, they need to...
It will be expensive for them.
So that's why we're taking the schools and the business
as close to them as possible.
Close to them. Now, also understand that we have a huge number that we're controlling. So if we say everybody should come to Lagos or go to Abuja, there won't be space for learning. So that's why we're creating those geopolitical zone schools that are close to where they reside.
Yeah. Now, if we go back to your personal business, you from a musician, a performing musician, you morphed into a consultant. What do you do now?
I still run it. I still run my promotion outfit. I still run my marketing communication firm. I have a technology firm. If you Google Go Create Africa, I'm the owner of Go Create Africa, so I still run my technology firm.
Go Trade Africa.
Go Create.
Go Create
Go
Africa.
Create. One action word. Go Create, like go and create.
Okay.
Go Create Africa.
Yeah.
I still run it. I still own a music distribution platform.
Okay.
Go Distro.
Okay.
So somebody say my hands are full. No, I'm still young, so
you're still busy.
Still busy. That's the word.
You're still busy. Now, your vision is driven by somewhat personal commitment on your part. You told me that your children are musicians too.
Yeah. Not only at the time we came in together, at the time I came in together, I discovered that Sonny Age's children play guitar and they sing. Zaki's children play and they sing. Then back home, my daughter plays violin. She sings. My son plays keyboard. He sings. My second son is a vocalist. He sings like man. My last son plays drum. So now I am this kind of person that will not tell them what they should do.
That's the best thing.
No, I don't get involved because I had issue with my folks, and if I had listened to them, maybe I would have been a poor man. But I refuse listening. So I refuse listening to them. So I don't try to force my kids in whatever they are doing. So I lead them to, I just guide them. So the drive why we're able to get P-Man together is also to prove that what if these kids decide to be musicians? Mm-hmm. Are we going to leave this whole messed up structure, messed up industry for them? And one time, they might ask, Daddy, you used to be a P-Man member. What did you people do?
What did you do?
So you understand? So I'm trying to avoid that question. That's why we paid 120% attention to get P-Man working.
Okay. So, are you satisfied with what you're doing?
Satisfaction is understatement. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I'm pleased with what we're doing, but there's opportunity of doing more. There's opportunity of getting it better because, like I said, Lagos is going to be Mecca for global music industry. We are running against it, against the time. We're doing more. There's opportunity of doing more. There's focus and consistency of doing more, and we're going to do more.
Yeah, because what I agree with you is that I was reading this song by CK, Love Wanted.
Love Wanted, yeah.
It's that it's the first African song to achieve the 1 billion stream mark
yeah.
on Spotify.
Yeah, never happened before.
No, you didn't say it, but that's unthinkable. That's unthinkable, you know.
So you understand what I'm saying? So you can imagine what these boys are doing. Now, the Americans and the Europeans, they are running after to catch up.
Yes.
How am I, is that the word I'm using? Am I using the right word? We're so much on a speed that they are trying to catch up.
Yes.
You can see what Rema is doing around Asia.
Rema. Even CK, I heard that he played a concert in India and the whole place was filled.
Yes. Now,
and they were singing along.
They were singing along, but let me tell you, that is they are closing down stadiums that even the Americans couldn't do.
Yes.
So that's why back home we need to
be organized,
properly organized.
Yes.
We need to put all our thoughts and focus together. It's an opportunity to take over the world, both in music and in structure. So we need to work towards it.
Okay. Let me wish you the very best as you lead the team and you realize the vision that you have set for yourself. My guest has been Pretty Okafor, P-Man president, Pretty of Junior and Pretty. But more than that, he's an accomplished gentleman who sees a bright future for the performing musicians of Nigeria. Thank you very much, Pretty.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
to see
you for having me.
Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you. Until we have another edition of the program, it's been Timeless Conversations. Have a good time.
My name is Yemi Shodimu, the son of an Egba chief from Abeokuta, Ogun State, and a mother that hailed from Isalofi in Lagos Island. My early days were spent in the serene but beautiful city of Abeokuta. I experienced a community of people that cared for each other and elders that looked out for each other's children. You could not misbehave outside and believe that could be done with impunity. Someone was there to reprimand you, which of course was a better option. 2, you're being reported to your parents. Of course you knew the consequences of that. This automatically kept us in check. I had the privilege of growing up in the palace in Ake with my late grandmother, Olori Adejoke Gbadebo, who was a wife of late Oba Adeshina Gbadebo, Alake of Egbaland. This exposed me to the way our people celebrated our culture and tradition, even while mingling with people from other religions, such as Christians and Muslims, without any acrimony or rancor. The dignity of labor was also inculcated in us quite early in life, apart from the normal house chores which I mandatorily did in spite of the presence of ourselves. I hawked old newspapers after school so as to learn the importance of contributing something to the home economy. Abeokuta provided the right ambience for the arts to grow and prosper while creating the desired recreation for the people in a friendly environment. The cinema affair, that is free cinema screening of cowboy and Indian films, was a favorite pastime. There was also the ancient Centenary Hall that was home to most of the Nigeria's traveling theaters. My grandmother was a lover of live theater, so I had the privilege of seeing the Ogun Days, Ogunmola, Duro Ladipo, Baba Salah, Baba Mero, and a host of others live on stage. This later in life influenced my career path. The social celebrations, including family celebrations, could run late into the evening or night without any apprehension about safety. This also afforded me my early exposure to popular music. I haven't seen Ebenezer Obey, Yusuf Olatunji, Ayinla Omowura perform live. I got so sucked in. Much later in life, all I wanted to do after my national youth service was to become a backup singer in Ebenezer Obey's band. In all, life was good then. There was a quest to achieve things in life. Parents pushed us to work hard, but there was also contentment that discouraged greed and avarice. I believe we can get back on track if we collectively decide to bestow on the generations coming after us a sane, dignified, conducive society. Let us talk about a brighter future and not the good old days. I therefore join Shemori in this collective and bold attempt at changing the narrative and doing it right for a better future.
My name is Adejoke Lasisi. I'm the founder and creative director of Planet 3R. At Planet 3R, we convert textile and plastic waste into eco-friendly products. The motivation actually came from a rural community in Ibadan here. Whenever it rains, the whole place, people will not be able to go inside the community. If it rains overnight, people will not be able to go to school, they will not be able to go to work. Anytime the water now goes away, you now realize a lot of waste. And I was like, this is actually the root cause of this problem, improper waste management system. Then I look at it that, what can we do to solve this problem? And that was how I started using the weaving skill that I've acquired from my mom since I was 9 years old. Then I started using it to weave those waste to now make sure that we now convert them into beautiful items like bags, shoes, even clothing. I actually participated at Womenpreneur Season 3, that was 2021. One of the things I really gained at that time was business development. It's not just about the talent now or having to know how to convert the waste or having the idea, but to be able to put it into a successful business. I really appreciate what Access Bank is doing for entrepreneurs. Let us now say women now, because most of the time women don't really have much of these advantages. I love the fact that there's an initiative for women. I want to encourage you to make sure that you go and apply honestly. Your life will not remain the same again.
Dancing makes me feel good. So does food, actually. I like my food. Pepper snails. I have a very spicy tongue. I have a friend that likes shopping. She calls it therapy. She gets her knickers in the bunch and says, Dion, let's go therapy. I need shopping. And she buys things she doesn't need at all that we have to give back in 2 weeks. That completely phases me. Welcome to the TW Conversations Lounge. When we come back, me and my lovely sisters and a nice lady here will tell us if therapy is frivolous or really needful. Be right back. Welcome back to the lounge. We have with us today a psychotherapist. Can I call you that?
No, you can't.
No, if you say psychiatrist, people think that it's just mad people.
It's true.
So psychotherapy is sexier. So she's a psychotherapist. She just makes a big problem really small. Here in the lounge with us is Dr. Maimuna Kadiri. She's going to maybe give us some perspective on what we think may be a frivolity. Now, therapy, my sisters, some people say it's frivolous. Like spa therapy. I go to the spa every couple of months, have a massage, get my pores open,
Do you go to
get my
spas and
groove on.
massage?
I don't mind. They don't have here, but I wouldn't mind. It wouldn't make
If I don't put it beyond Dion.
it wouldn't make a difference, though, because they're very clinical. It's a job to them. So they could be as hunky as the nice Spanish Latino guy, but nothing happens. So, let's get back to the subject, young ladies.
Sorry,
I
darling.
go to the spa to get my therapy. It helps me distress so that I don't get really crazy. But like I said earlier on, I have a friend that shops. She will buy things she doesn't need, then return them in 2 weeks, just to feel good. So that's why people think therapy is a frivolity. What do you guys think? Adiswa?
Okay, well, the truth is, I think it depends on context, but I wouldn't mind to begin. I want to hear what this woman has to say, because this is the one that is telling people, because first of all, why therapy? And what is therapy?
There's
because what I call therapy might not really be therapy, it might just be free. I don't know.
Just a feel-good thing, yes. But what do you think, though?
For shopping?
Yeah.
The truth is, this is it. The truth is, she goes shopping because she's dealing with a particular issue. Maybe she's sad at that point in time, or she's angry, or there's one emotion that is making her feel the way she feels. And then she returns them in 2 weeks' time. Not everything may be returned, not everything may be in shape. The truth is that this is going to be a vicious circle of, I'm angry, I go shopping, I spend money that...
So you say it doesn't help at all?
It's not. It's a short-time feel-good thing, but on the long run, it's not. She must look for the reason. If you eat as a therapy and you grow fat and you don't like being fat, so those evoke another problem. That evoke negative feelings, emotions, and then you're like angry why you've grown fat and why you need to now go to the gym and jump on a treadmill and then get a personal trainer and pay more money. So those are short-term therapy. They are stopgap. They are not really sustainable.
See, I know you're just copying me. Are you my leg? I put my leg, you put your leg.
What do you do when you
Put
my legs down. What do you do when you want to distress? You're a mother of 2 young babies, so
Take for example,
a quiet place. You didn't sleep last night.
I go to a quiet place. As in, for me right now, maybe it's the phase I'm in, but for me right now, just being on my own and knowing I don't have responsibilities or nobody's crying and knocking on my door, mama, or something, I don't know, just being on my own and watching a movie and just knowing that I'm responsible for nothing for those hours. I think that for me is therapy. Meditation. That means you went through some meditation?
Yeah, so you see, I didn't
quiet
put it in that
time,
context,
yes, meditation, yes,
What
quiet
do you
time.
do when you want to
I
distress?
think therapy for me is what helps me to get balance back.
Okay.
And I don't think it's frivolity at all.
Is your gymming therapy? Because I know this girl.
Gymming is therapy. It's finding out what gives you the balance. And that's why I don't think it's frivolity at all. I think the biggest problem is accepting the fact that we might need an intervention.
Okay.
It is that intervention.
I like that word, intervention. Yes.
It should be intervention.
I think she's chief of, what is that you call yourself again?
Intervention is needed because you want to restore balance, your happiness. And I say to people, if you saw it from the point of view, I read something recently. It said, become the CEO of your own happiness. And it's wonderful. It empowered me. Exactly. And it made me feel like I would have an outcome I'm looking for. and I feel accountable to myself to make it happen. So what you need to do to make it happen is that therapy. And there are different therapies, as a good doctor will tell
Some
you.
people, you see, the thing is that because of the kind of society we're in, it's a cultural society, some people think that therapy, is a therapist for a rich person. That they have money now, let them go, he's just, because you say, okay, I'll say to my mom, I feel a little bit sad and I've been feeling like this for like a week or so. She'll tell me, pray. What is that?
How do you even know? How do you know
I
when
don't
you
want
need
intervention of prayer now.
Yes.
No, it's
Spiritual therapy.
Spiritual therapy.
Organ therapy.
There's spiritual therapy.
But it can be
No,
uplifting, though. It's an intervention that you're going through. Is the only thing is, at what point do people actually now need professional therapy?
Tell us, yes.
Because there are different types of professional therapy with the cognitive behavioral, psychodynamic, group therapy, psychotherapy. So let's not even go into that. Let's just say to that therapy.
When do you know you need therapy?
Good. Good. The thing is that for individuals, it's good for us to know at what point there is an issue that's affecting you, that people around you begin to say there's something wrong with you, and sometimes it might have even led to a societal issue. So, e.g., for example, you're sad. You just know that you don't know that you're so sad. People around you just know that you've started withdrawing from them. People around you start seeing that you weep too much, or you weep unnecessarily, or you are even becoming angry. It may even get to the stage where I say to the society, you're driving and you are just driving anyhow. It's some kind of risky behavior. Exactly. Or you might even hit somebody down. So you see how it has cascaded from one thing that is from you to the family now to the larger society.
So do you think it would have made a difference if when it started to happen in small bits, we did something.
Intervention.
Yes.
An intervention.
But, okay, how will you know when it gets to the point of calling someone like you? Because in small bits, when I'm stressed out, she will meditate, I will go to the spa. Yes, go to church, go for a retreat. I just swear goes on a retreat once a year or something.
Which is good,
yes.
No, the thing is that we don't like reinventing the wheels when it comes to therapy.
Okay.
We always tell people what has worked for you before in the past. For the fact that when you're stressed, what has worked? Is it spa that has worked? Let's start with spa. Is it shopping that has worked? Let's start with that. But of course, the person will tell you, no, I've done that now, but I think I need more. So now we use one negative emotion, which was sadness. Let's take, for example, sadness. Sadness a day or two, 3 days, 1 week is not what you should start intervening for something. Okay, why am I sad? You may find the reason, you may not find the reason. But sadness that has been persistent, at least minimum of 2 weeks, there's a problem.
Oh, that's a red flag. 2 weeks. Well,
2 weeks.
I just wonder if
there's
that
a problem.
You girls remember twice in the past year, we've had 2 women kill their husbands.
Yes.
Yes. They've just killed their husbands. I always say that men should be careful, because women can just kill you like
Okay, so it's the mismanagement of anger, something that you will need, because everyone says depression therapy. That's the only one they know. Anger management, yes.
Oh, no, anger can be so bad, because the truth is that when you are so angry, you can kill. And when you kill, you won't know until you've killed. And I say, oh, what have I done?
Oh, wow.
And this killing I'm talking about must not necessarily be somebody. You may kill yourself. So it's not necessarily towards somebody. Suicide, yes. So it can be suicide, can be murder, can be either way. So the truth about it is that people can be so angry, and the only option they are thinking of at that point in time may just be death. Let me just kill. And they are not thinking, because their emotions have overridden their logical thinking. And once that happens, whatever happen, it may be disastrous. It's not every time we find little things that someone has done, so we can change it. No.
So yeah,
anger management is very important.
Those women that kill their husbands, tiny little women like this can afford to, or I mean, what do you call it? To reduce that man to. How do you? Because
that's very strong. That's very strong.
Is it anger? No, the thing is that is it anger or okay? Can you anger? Because I saw the last one I learned about was the lady who cut off her husband's genitals, and then she stabbed him till he died.
She was very angry. She was very upset. She must have been livid, really angry.
Not only that, she had gone into the realm of unreasonable behavior.
Is that a mental case? Could she have been?
It could be. We won't at this point, because we've not heard from her, we've not assessed, we've not evaluated. It could be one. And of course, we know spouses that kill they have we have different type of killers when it comes to that.
Please tell me about them.
Oh, we have different types. We have the temper tantrum killers.
Don't do.
Yeah.
Does it by law? And you're a lawyer. Do they get away with it?
If you kill your husband,
crime of passion.
Crime of passion.
I don't think they do it here. They do it.
Sorry, or if you kill your wife. I keep saying if you kill your husband. My cameramen are laughing. They're not happy. Your wife. They're not happy. Always kill your wife. Yeah, they're not happy at all. But be careful as a guy. That's what I say.
For cases like this, definitely they must go for evaluation because when the law has already taken over, they want to know could it be that they were already having some mental health related problems, or because that, of course,
it's already too late.
That's exactly.
Which is my question.
That's a therapy.
So
it's important.
when should there be an intervention, and why, as a society, are we afraid to identify that time and the need for intervention as a society?
So if you see somebody that you think is troubled, and so you as a person, like I'm wondering, what are my responsibilities? Am I to go to call a therapist? Because people have to, like she said, admit that they have the problem. But a lot of times people don't admit it until it has led to something detrimental. So at what point, how do we help?
Good. We are in a society where we judge and we are very quick to judge. So if you have a friend who you've seen over time, that something has changed. So the watchword I would say is change. What has changed in this your friend? Okay, negative change because there are some things that are good, negatively, in the sense that you love to party with her every Saturday. All of a sudden, she keeps cancelling all the O1 you've been having. So mark it down. You see her, she's no longer happy. Put it down. You see her, any little thing, she's very finicky. She just gets angry easily. At that point, at least you've seen 3-4 things. Sit him or her down and say, dear,
I can see.
Over time, you know, use the sandwich approach. Say all the nice things about this person. You know, you're very dear to me. You this, you that. I love you very much. And
so
but
them first.
Yes, before suggesting exactly.
Okay, you know what, ladies, hold that thought. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to the lounge. We're having a very nice and heated discussion about how to intervene when you notice that a friend or a member of your family is pouring out some negative energy. But we keep centering on women. Don't men go through these things as well?
They do. It's just that in our society, which I'm telling mothers out there, please, don't tell your baby boy not to cry. You know, we always like, oh, don't cry, you are a man. Men don't cry. No, their brain gets wired, so when that boy turns to a man, he bottles up and tells himself, I'm a man.
But in psychiatry, okay, statistics-wise, do you have more women or more men? What kind of cases are akin to men? What kind of cases are akin to women?
Okay, for men, more of drug and other substance abuse. For women, more of depression. In fact, women are twice more depressed than men. Our emotive, our emotive nature.
I know how to.
No, we are more emotive. We have more issues. The thing is that there's that societal thing that is attached that women can multitask. Not all. Researchers are now, yes, it's pressure. Yes, it's pressure of life. The thing is that even studies are now showing that truly we can't just multitask. We are just having that women can multitask. So we take it on, take it on, take it on. And then we do all those things suboptimally.
So what you're saying is stereotypes don't help?
Yes, stereotypes don't help.
For men don't cry, boys don't cry.
So women multitask.
Women multitask.
We multitask. We also have longer hours of sleep because we need our brain to, but we don't.
Man,
we don't.
They
can say it again.
We don't. To a certain extent, yes.
No. I cannot agree that we can't multitask. Yeah. We can multitask, but to a certain extent. Yeah. We must know the limits.
I mean, we must know the limits. The truth is that, because of the fact that we think we can multitask, over time we always go overboard.
Pile too much on.
Too much on, and then it breaks us down.
It's important, therefore, to know that we can multitask. When do we know that it don't pass us?
We should learn the act of delegating.
I was going to say that with Anne, when I was having children, I didn't wake up to feed at night. Because I'd spent the day with the children and breastfed. So I used to extract in the bottle. And it was the only time I said, my husband, you get to bond with your child. So nobody's allowed to touch me after 10 o'clock.
You're dead to the world.
He completely, I don't want to hear squeak. As soon as he hears the monitor, he'll go and get the bottle from the freezer. Warm it. change diaper,
That's a good
and
strategy.
feed.
Such an
Yes,
express
now, so that he
for
can-
night.
At least
In
2
fairness to
nights,
my
you
husband,
know.
He actually does try. In fairness to him, I remember 2 nights ago, I was really, really
But the
exhausted.
baby won't agree.
And the baby woke me up with this. So I woke up with a headache saying, my head. He just carried the child and I went. And then I saw the child like 6 a.m. I'm like, kudos. They're going to work as well. But yeah, I mean, generally, like she said, women, there are many things apart from the baby. There's cooking, there's going to work, there's many other things. There's even when you have people, the people that we have these days, the quality of people that you have has helped. You always have to almost supervise and be angry lots of the time.
There's other therapies. You know, you're talking about the sex therapy thing.
Oh, yes. Okay, now, when we counsel couples, a lot of couples, especially middle-aged couples, they're having struggles. Erectile dysfunction, low libido. We wrote a film once, and the effect of rape on we played with the effect of rape on 2 women. One became an nymphomaniac, and one became frigid. So you have some women who absolutely don't like sex, and they don't want to be bothered with it. So we often say to them, can you see a sex therapist? Nigerians just blank out.
Like, for what?
Yes, especially the men. They're like, are you saying that I can't do my business? What do you mean by that?
Okay,
But you know, yes.
Therapy is not just about, therapy is finding a solution to whatever the intervention for a problem.
Intervention for a problem.
So the problem can also be sex,
It can
right?
be sex.
Can't you get a man to come for sex therapy if they need?
Why a man?
No, because you give an example.
Open to therapy.
Women feel
like say, oh, okay, I need
We
this.
just
Let's
want a
go
solution for the problem.
For the
We
problem.
don't want problems.
For the man, you have to now look for many ways.
Like how?
You know, to letting him know the benefits. So there's what we call value proposition. Even in business, okay, what value would this bring to this man? It's not without because you have to consider his ego. So you're not going to say, oh, your wife did this, and because of this is it.
The ego, the real meaning of that word ego is a sense of self. We also have it.
We also know. No, it's just more pronounced in the downplay.
Yes,
downplay.
but we actually do. You know, so why is theirs more important to pets? Like as if it's a toy. That thing confuses me totally. Who's rubbing our own? I'm sorry now. You know.
I know the ego has a very important role to play between the id and the superego. It mediates. So let's leave that. No, let's leave that because the id is the talk for another day.
The id is a good one.
The id is a pleasure. The pleasure. Yes, you want to get something, you just take. The superego is the reality, but the ego just tells the pleasure and the reality. Yes, it has no, it's pleasure, it just wants pleasure. So you see men, a boy trapped in a man's body. A girl trapped in a woman's body. They're still in that id phase. Yes. I want. They don't care who owns it, they don't want to.
It can be any gender.
It can be anything. It can be any gender, yes. The super ego will.
What's with men?
You think so?
People treat him like a baby. I hate hearing that advice. Because you can't treat a grown man like a baby. It's confusing.
I have a question. Yes. How do you handle the stigma that this society puts on therapy?
Yes.
Because I believe you've just said if we see signs with our friends or with ourselves, how do you disabuse the mind of society about that stigma? I have an opinion, but I want to listen to you first. Okay. You know, how to help
if
people.
I had a psychiatrist that looks like this, I won't have any problem.
So how do you help society with that stigma?
The stigma is still very huge. Why is it still very huge? Because people don't want to hear about emotional things. They want to hear about the psychological. They don't want to hear about mental. It's even worse when you say mental. Emotional and behavioral kind of downplays. Is it a different word for mental?
That's
synonym. So let us say synonyms, right, in English. So you say emotional, we say psychological, we say behavioral. I've been to an organization where I was going to come in as a psychiatrist, and he came and told me, look, on your wall, we are going to put our behavioral scientists. So that it won't look like, it won't look as if you are coming here that we are mad. So we are not mad. And then people also appreciate the word psychotherapist. People appreciate that. They don't want to hear psychiatrist. No, we are not. They start taking about. And sadly, is the because in a society where we are bringing it home to Nigeria, it's only a psychiatrist that when they start doing therapy for you and you need medication, they're the only ones that can write. Okay. They're the only ones that can prescribe.
Medication can solve some of this.
It's a lot because that's why we have huge benefits of therapy. We also have the bad side. If you be going for therapy for months and you are not getting benefit, you should pull out. Either your therapist is not the right person for you, or you are doing the wrong therapy.
Or they haven't identified.
Or they've identified the problem, what you are dealing with. So there are risks to it too. And in therapy session, we have what we call transference and counter-transference. We can be having therapy session now, and then she looks like that stepmother of mine. And so I'll be like the therapist. So this is my client. And then I look like her stepmom, who she doesn't like. So no matter what, she's not going she's not going to go. So you start transferring. So there's transference. Also, the therapist can do counter-transference. You may look like somebody in my past, my school mother was very wicked. So you see that, so those are the barriers to therapy. It's a barrier. So we have transference and counter-transference in therapy. And up until you resolve that, therapy cannot go on.
Okay, anyway, so typically, how long does it take for you to diagnose a person with special needs?
Sections
for therapy? First, this person, if I come and say, my friend has this need and blah, 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 how long does it take for you to diagnose what the person needs first before you start to administer?
An hour, 2 hours, consultation
so you can do it in a session.
Yeah, just know exactly. And that is the first line before you even say, let's go for therapy. What are you going for therapy for? Have you identified the problems? Have you identified the risk? Have you identified childhood adversities that this person might have been going through? What are you going to even do therapy for?
So you get all this from conversation?
Yes, conversation.
The person is not talking.
Exactly. Good. There are different ways. So you start with paper and pen. We can be deaf and dumb in consultation. So write. Yes, you can do sign language. So if you have sign language person around you, they can do sign language. Or you can get the person's role model or somebody that they respect.
What if the person is there under duress and is like, I'm not doing this?
That's their work.
You have to. Barrier. So who brought this person? So you go interact with that person and ask questions about what this person likes, she likes Arsenal fan. So you, even if you don't like football, you quickly go on Google and know the coach, know the players, and all that. Then you start saying that's my beauty. When you say, I love Arsenal, I did this, I like the coach.
Let me ask honestly, really. If somebody told you she was seeing a psychiatrist, what's the first thing that would come to your mind?
That's the point.
Honestly,
because it's the crazy house impression that makes a lot of people either cannot own up to the fact that they're taking therapy or will not even start taking therapy. So I'm saying the more, I like playing on words that you just described, but the more we all understand that therapy has been there for years.
Very.
Philosophy was therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy came from the philosophies of Socrates, who believed that your healing is inside you. It's in your reasoning. And you can help yourself with reasoning. You can help yourself with talking. And question the assumptions that are making you unhappy.
Exactly. Yeah,
and you can be a doctor to solve.
Not get someone to help them. People prefer to try and sort it out themselves.
Yes,
but not get somebody. That's the problem. They don't want to tell people, I need therapy. So they say, I will sort it out myself. So some people say, okay, yes.
Therapy can be sold to them as somebody just needs to talk over your matters rather than feeling that I am going crazy.
How expensive is it? How affordable is it?
That question always comes from.
Not so as bad as we all think, though therapy for a session is 100K or whatever. You can get therapy as cheap as 10,000, 15,000.
We qualified therapy.
Qualified, yes. The thing now is the qualification.
Consultation.
An hour, yes. Therapy shouldn't be more than an hour. No, if it's more than an hour, you don't know what you're doing. No, there must be the rapport, opening, and then, of course, disengaging. So 45 minutes is just fine. The 15 minutes opening and closing. And different therapies have different take home. Some, like cognitive behavior, will do his homework.
And you can do on phone, too. Because I've had that counsel my son.
On phone. Telephonic is there.
Can we mix the ones that you say are the frivolous ones? Can we mix shopping therapy with regular therapy?
And chocolate
therapy, dark chocolate and that.
Yes. Somebody comes for a professional, whatever, for professional therapy now, and then that shopping is there. We now make that person understand that this is what shopping, does for you, and this is what it will do later if you continue in this pattern.
Yes.
So on their own, they will definitely know that, no, this shopping is not my my solution
Is it
at
like
this
drugs,
point.
for example? Because it's therapy of some sort.
It works.
Kids who not take weed and stuff like that,
You know, you're unhappy. They take it to make them unhappy.
Yeah, it feel good.
so there's good therapy and bad therapy.
No, that's what I said. The point
That's
is
abuse. That's not
They
therapy.
know what is
Therapy
therapy
for
for
them.
therapy.
Yes,
for
that's
them,
what I'm saying. That's
for
the
them,
point
they
I'm
think
making.
it as a therapy
Yes.
because they tell themselves they can stop when they want to stop.
Absolutely.
But
They
the
can't.
bad thing is that most times they cross the line.
So the point is
Yeah,
shopping
they
can
cross
get to
the
that
line.
level
Yeah,
too.
shopping can cross
becomes
the line.
it's solving. Then after it becomes an
However, there are
addiction.
things- however, there are things you can do to help yourself
Yes,
momentarily.
yes.
Like the spa.
Meditation, mindfulness, yoga.
Yes. You
Sometimes
can- there are
when I travel, I
self-help
meditate a
things.
lot. I just go away and I
Talk
just
to a
read.
trusted friend.
Exactly.
And really start from there.
Yes.
Talk to a trusted friend. I didn't say talk to a friend. though.
Trusted
Trusted friend,
Talking to a
yes.
trusted friend is almost
it's
like
like
therapy. You know, like
Anyway, you both say I haven't answered my question. If I told you I was seeing a shrink, what will you say? What's wrong with AO?
I would just
You would not, okay, just honestly.
I will ask you quietly, do you need some help? Do you need me to go with you? Because I've had therapy.
Okay.
So it's
What
not a
would
big
you
deal.
think?
Yes.
At first, I'm like,
What do I need to be careful about? What have I said to her that the risk is coming out?
No. I would think she's brave, and I would think she's very focused.
Yes. Well, I'm afraid that's all we have for today. We've been talking about therapy and how important it is to identify the need for it, the need for an intervention. But like Fumi says, be the CEO of your happiness. Thank you for joining us in the lounge. See you next week.
Thank you. So what are the top decisions that the United States considers necessary that Nigeria must take? I like to think of my interactions as conversations, not interviews. And that's why I say asking questions is both an art and a science. Everyone says in Islam you are allowed to have 4 wives. Is it mandatory? The right question enables answers that educate, inform, clarify, and help you, the viewer, to better understand the issue before making up your mind.
Our goal is to reduce from 10 to 2 days the time it takes to register businesses in Nigeria.
Join me every week on this station Plus TV Africa and gain exclusive access to my conversations. I'm Angela Ajetumobi.
On Plus TV News Now tonight, Labour Union shut down power grid, disrupt airlines with strike over minimum wage. As police urge Labour to shelve strike and follow procedures. Kenya finds 7 more bodies as court massacre exhumations resume. Netanyahu says he was not pressured to dismiss ceasefire deal by part of Israel's coalition. Good evening to you. I am Justin Akadonye and this is the news now. Striking workers have downed tools across the nation as the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC and the Trade Union Congress TUC began their industrial action over the hike in electricity tariff and the lack of consensus on a new minimum wage. While the National Assembly had stepped in at the last minute to avoid the industrial action declared on Friday, the discussions ended in a stalemate, leading to the commencement of the strike. In compliance with the order, some workers in several parts of the country were shut out of their offices. From Rivers State in the South-South region to Kaduna in the Northwest, the workers' actions grounded economic activities. In Kaduna, students of the State Polytechnic were locked out of their campus by labor officials in compliance with the nationwide indefinite strike. As early as 7 a.m., union officials stormed the Ongwarimi campus of the school. They drove the students out of the institution and locked the gate. Now, members of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC and the Trade Union Congress TUC in Edo State have joined others in observing full compliance with the directives of the leadership. Some people who spoke noted that they would continue to wait until the next line of directives, as officers were seen on the lock and key.
Today we have total compliance, acting on the national directives. After today we'll be waiting again because we are aware that as at yesterday there was a deadlock. If there is any further directives, it will come from the national. So we want to say very clearly that the action continues until we have a national directing us to end this shutdown.
It's a clear directive from our national to enforce an indefinite strike action until the 2 major points that has been brought to the table is resolved. What are the points? The first one is that we want a livable minimum wage, which our trade centers have brought before the government. And the second one is the reversal of the hiked electricity tariff.
The state government expressed its reservations about the strike.
Of course, that we all now know is that it's a national strike. So it's not just for us alone. Of course, we had hoped that because we had complied, in fact, the governor had on his own, without any prompting by Labour, done what he did to raise the minimum wage to 70,000 naira. We were the first state to do so, and since then, no other state has been able to do that. And then we have further raised the bar now. So we're hoping that since we have done all of that, this strike will not affect us. But it's been explained to us that it's a national strike. But we're hoping that this will be resolved very quickly, so that we can return to our work.
Meantime, the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC and the Trade Union Congress in Ekiti State have followed the directive from the national bodies of the union to embark on an industrial action across the state. Labour leaders in the state shut down government offices, secretariats and banks in compliance with the nationwide strike. Meanwhile, it was a drama-like scene when NLC and TUC visited the Federal Medical Teaching Hospital in Ado-Ekiti as the Chief Medical Director threatened to sack the members of the union. Now, the organized labor also visited the State Secretariat and some banks where they forced out staff who failed to obey the directive.
They are sending us to slave in our own land. They are turning us to slave in our own land. The power of unity is there for us. And that's why we are here. In unity we stand, and division will fall. And we are going to tell whoever that is concerned here that what is going on here is not your own directive. It's the directive from our own national. It's the directive from the state. And it's the directive that we need minimum wage and it has to be given. And
how much are we clamoring for? How much are we saying? They say the salary cannot take us anywhere. Things are very hard. But this government, these people, these politicians, they are recalcitrant, and we are fed up. So on this issue of this minimum wage, we are resilient, and we are going to follow it to the letter until our demands are met.
Well, moving on now to Taraba State, still in the wake of the strike. The labor union in the state visited government establishment to ensure compliance with the ongoing strike. The members traveling in their branded buses throughout the state capital of Jalingo stated they were enforcing full compliance with the directive from the national leadership. Workers who had already returned to their duty posts were observed leaving the premises to return home. Those unable to depart immediately were seen lingering around the office buildings. At the time of reporting, filling stations remained open to the public, and commercial banks within the state capital were also operating in 7 customers. Additionally, private schools continue to have students present in their classrooms.
Almost 70% compliance of today. So we believe that tomorrow will be either 80 or 90%. In the morning, actually, some offices are open. Unfortunately, my committee went out. After they went out, then they sent people out of the office. Even the bank will close them. The offices will close it. Even the NNPC. I went there by myself. So I drove them out.
Now, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has summoned organized labor to an emergency meeting to avert the ongoing strike over a new national minimum wage. The president of the TUC, Comrade Festus Osifo, confirmed this to our correspondents today. Osifo said labor leaders comprising the Nigeria Labour Congress and its union were headed to the SGF office for the meeting. On Monday, the nationwide strike called by organized labor paralyzed economic activities nationwide. Banks, schools, flight, and other economic activities were disrupted as a result of the strike. Meanwhile, the Tripartite Committee on National Minimum Wage had invited organized labor to a meeting tomorrow. Now, the federal government has appealed to labor unions to return to the negotiations table with the Tripartite Committee on the new minimum wage. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who appealed in Abuja on Monday, said the government is desirous of a peaceful outcome and will do everything to make it happen. Expressing the government's readiness to agree with the labor, Idris highlighted the National Assembly leadership's meeting with the labor leadership on Sunday and another dialogue today.
This is a heartfelt and deeply considered appeal to the labor unions to continue along the path of negotiations with the federal, state governments, and the organized private sector under the auspices of the Tripartite Committee that has been established by government to fashion out a new, realistic minimum wage for the people of Nigeria. Let me make it clear that we are not opponents on this negotiating table. We are united by the fact that we want the best for the Federal Republic of Nigeria and all the over 200 million citizens of this country. We have a responsibility to strike a measured and realistic balance in this effort to arrive at a new minimum wage for Nigeria.
Meantime, the Nigerian police force has appealed to labor unions to adhere to existing laws and exercise caution as they launched a nationwide strike over the failure to agree on a minimum wage with the federal government. The police warned that the strike could potentially lead to increased tension and political instability. Now, in other news, in a bid to facilitate the violence-free election, promote peaceful coexistence and strengthen social integration in the country, the Kuka Center and the National Peace Committee, NPC, in collaboration with the Swiss Embassy, has put together a 2-day interactive session on election matters for stakeholders in Yenagoa. The stakeholders from security agencies, INEC religious leaders, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, civil society, and others living with stability were part of the meeting with the theme From Post to Peace, Strengthening Social Integration and Peace Initiative in Bayelsa State.
What we have done today is that we're actually propelling the ideals of peace building and social cohesion, not just for the political parties and their candidates, but also for youth, for women, persons with disabilities, talking about inclusivity, and also not forgetting religious leaders and traditional rulers because of the moral powers that they really have to ensure that we propel the ideas of peace.
After the elections, there was a lot of mistrust that especially the youth had in trusting the electoral process. And we also saw from research that had impacted the elections in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo State. So to address these issues, it's important that we come back and sit on the table. Yes, things didn't go the way we want them.
Who have won should also appreciate the fact that it was a contest that anybody could have won. So I advise the candidates who lost in the election to prepare for another opportunity.
Now, the Edo State chapter of the Labour Party has rejected the Honourable Elizabeth Ativier-led caretaker committee. This came up after the party's governorship candidate Olumide Akwata insisted that Comrade Kelly Ogbailo remains the state chairman. Akwata made this announcement at an enlarged party meeting attended by the 18 local government chairmen and secretaries over the weekend in Benin, the state capital. He stated that there was no legal instrument removing Ogbaloi's executive from office and that he continued to support their leadership. In response, party chairman Kelly Ogbaloi announced the suspension of Honorable Elizabeth Ativier and her purported caretaker committee members.
You have to be objective. What do our rules say? Is there an instrument changing that informs us of the change of our state working committee? I haven't seen one. Is there a procedure prescribed by our constitution on how this can be done? Yes. We need to interrogate whenever that instrument comes, if it ever comes, whether procedure was duly followed. For now, the gold standard will be to maintain status quo ante bellum.
They are both submitted for information and further necessary action. This was again signed by Comrade Agedo Soni, the LGA chairman, Wanta Charles Ayu, the LGA local government secretary, respectively. So this is also a copy of the letter. By voice vote in this assembly of this afternoon, coming from the local government chairman and secretary here present, it was also passed that the State Executive Council ratified unanimously the suspension of Elizabeth Ativier.
Now, President Bola Tinubu has extended his congratulations to the Nigerian Navy on its 68th anniversary, commending it as a capable cornerstone in both the nation as a whole and the maritime environment. Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima, representing the President, conveyed this message during the commencement of the 5th International Maritime Conference and Regional Maritime Exercise 2024, where he inaugurated 3 new ships and 2 helicopters. Additionally, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ike Chukwogala, the Chief of Naval Staff, addressed the significance of the anniversary.
Kashim Shettima, on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, on this day, 30th of May 2024, hereby declare Nigerian Navy ships Ochuzo, Chalawa, Zur, and Nigerian Navy helicopters NN-412, NN-414, commissioned for naval service of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
That particularly our former service chiefs, the icons of the Navy, members of Naval Officers' Wives Association, captains of industry, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The Regional Maritime Exercise 2024, codenamed Exercise Abo Okun, is the flagship maritime exercise hosted by the Nigerian Navy to commemorate our yearly anniversary celebration. This year, we have 15 ships participating, with 3 from both China, Brazil, and Cameroon, while 12 ships from the Nigerian Navy and 2 helicopters are participating in the exercise. It is pleasing to note that the synergy from international cooperation of this nature has been pivotal in significantly reducing incidences of maritime crimes.
Meantime, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, has paid an official visit to the Naval Dockyard Limited in Lagos. This visit included a comprehensive inspection of the dockyard's facilities and preparations for the upcoming Nigerian Navy 68th anniversary celebration, which will be hosted by the NDL. During the visit, Vice Admiral Ogala was accompanied by Rear Admiral Abolaji Orederu, the Admiral Superintendent of the Naval Dockyard. Together, they reviewed several key areas and projects reflecting the dockyard's ongoing enhancement and readiness for the anniversary celebrations. Now, Vice Admiral Ogala praised Rear Admiral Orederu and the NN68 Anniversary Organizing Committee for their exceptional work and encouraged them to maintain high standards of excellence. Now, the residents and indigents of Iru community have benefited from the free medical rhapsody initiated by the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, the Admiral Superintendent of the Naval Dockyard, Rear Admiral Abolaji Orederu, led the initiative, which is in commemoration of the Navy's 68th anniversary and collaboration with the Oniru Palace. The Admiral Superintendent, ably represented by Captain U.I. Okeke, Commander, Naval Medical Center, said the move is to further strengthen the civil-military relations as the Navy celebrates its anniversary. On his part, the Oniru of Iru, Abdulwasiu Omogbolahon Lawal, said it is his passion to bring wellness to the people of the land as health is prioritized in his reign. Some beneficiaries bore their mind in the appreciation of the gesture. Moving on now to other stories, more than 10 exceptional students from the Federal University of Technology, Akure Secondary School, have received a donation of 10 laptops and other materials through the A Laptop for Every African program, ALIP. Now, the ALIP is a project initiated by the Black Talent Program to provide laptops to talented and ambitious individuals in Africa who lack the necessary tools and resources to enhance their technological skills. Now, during the inaugural event held in Akure, the CEO of Black, George Omosun, emphasized that the primary objective is to assist young Africans starting with Nigeria and Ghana in gaining access to laptops and mentorship. Now, during a capacity building talk, Omosun urged the students to believe in their dreams as they can achieve all they aspire to be. Now, this support will enable them to be better equipped to seize opportunities in the information age.
I want to give you guys a quick, a little brief fundamental into tech. For those of you, again, who are looking at getting into tech and are wondering, okay, this tech thing that I've heard, what are the things I can do, right? I'll try and make it as simple as possible. When I was your age, I didn't have anyone to really break it down, to me like this, but I'll try and make it as simple as possible for you. So in tech, in today's world, there are about 3 things that you might be considering getting into. Core tech, right? I'm not referring to things like graphic designing and all of that, which you need a laptop for. I'm talking about engineering, right? So if you're looking at getting into engineering. So one of the things that you might be considering is called software engineering. Can I hear you say software engineering? Okay, so software engineering has 2 major parts. But first of all, let me describe what it is. It's the ability to build software. What is software? Software are the mobile apps that we use, the websites. If you have WhatsApp or you've heard of it, Instagram.
Now to security matters. The chairman of Karim Lamido local government area, Bitrus Danjos, has confirmed the killing of the traditional ruler of Usmanu community in Taraba State. According to Danjos, the unfortunate incident occurred on Sunday night when an assailant invaded the community, firing indiscriminately and causing the residents to flee before the traditional ruler was murdered. Now, the local government chairman expressed shock at the ruler's death, especially since the deceased younger brother had also been killed a few months ago. Now, security personnel have been deployed to the community to restore peace and order and prevent any potential reprisal attacks.
That has just been a shocking news to us when we heard what actually happened. 5 minutes after the incident, I was called from Usmanu village and was informed that the village had a Royal Highness Awal, somebody or some group of persons, unknown gunmen, came and killed him. They shot him dead. So that's the situation we had, and the people in the ward, particularly in that particular village, they deserted the area. All of them were running away for their lives. My message to the people of entire Karim Lamido is to calm down. They should never take laws into their hands. We have the security; they are on top of the matter, and so therefore everybody should be at rest. And those that they are thinking maybe they will have an appraisal attack over what has happened, please, I'm calling on them to calm down. Let them shift their swords and then wait for what the government is going to do. Even His Excellency has been informed about the situation, so he has already directed the security also.
Now, a cross-section of Shagamu residents have protested the alleged unlawful invasion of their ancestral lands by suspected land grabbers. The people who came under the Odugboros of Mako in Shagamu local government area of Ogun State are appealing to the governor, Dakpo Abiodun, to save them from the activities of the suspected land grabbers who had taken over their family land situated at Shagamu GRA extension. They made the call during a peaceful protest in Shagamu, insisting that the suspected land grabbers had encroached on their family land and were already selling part of it to unsuspecting members of the public.
Armed boys stationed on the land. He invaded the land on the 28th of March 2024, and he has been there up till now.
So nobody is living there. The residents.
The residents had to. They invaded. When they got there, they were fully armed. They assaulted members of the family who had even other outside members of the family. People who are residents of that area. They were assaulted. They were pursued out of their land, and the guy started selling. He damaged some people's property, but now we cannot even assess the level of the damage because no one can go to the land.
The protesters, armed with placards with various inscriptions, called for the prosecution of the suspect under the Ogun State land grabbing law.
The Ogun State government, with the Office of the Attorney General, the Special Advisor to the Governor on Security, we have equally written to the Commissioner of Police. We have written petitions to all these offices. Please, assist the family in getting justice. Prosecute if he is found wanting, if this allegation is proven true, he should be prosecuted. Ogun State has a land grabbing act, which we think should be enforced at this moment. That is what the family is craving for.
A senior advocate of Nigeria, Ebonlu Adegorua, says lawyers, activists, and civil society organizations should have the capability to challenge obnoxious policies of the government laws and seek protection and enforcement of fundamental rights of citizens in the country. Adegoruwa, who made a call in Lagos at the lecture of law practitioners with a focus on reproductive health. Now, the senior advocate of Nigeria said victims of rape are faced with challenges such as lack of funding, delay in delivery of justice, religious and cultural limitations which at the end discourage victims in pursuit of justice on their grievances. Adegoruwa therefore called on the CSOs and solicitors to do more on investigations, gather their facts, and not allow the challenges to hinder their victims' interests. Now, the Dean of the Faculty of Law at the University of Lagos, Professor Ige Bolodoku, said victims of rape and human rights violation are in need of keen justice, and as such, there is the need for a workable strategy in the justice system.
With this kind of discussion and engagement, civil society organizations should gather their facts, should be involved in investigation, and not allow these challenges to hinder their engagement in the interest of victims. So going forward, they should take it up to ensure that they factor in these challenges as part of the litigation itself and not be bothered or hindered or discouraged thereby.
Sometimes when we are seeking justice, there are other stakeholders who actually discourage the victims from cooperating, under the pretext that they are going to resolve it privately. It doesn't have matter. So we also, we also had people who advocate that, look, there is a need to rehabilitate the victims, to build their confidence back up, and then liberate them from the kind of stigma and fear that you alluded to, so that they could speak freely. Because if you cannot speak freely, it is not possible to assist or help those who are victims.
Also look at what can be done. People are dying. There are Nigeria has one of the highest number of maternal deaths, and most as a result of unsafe abortion. So we want to explore what we can do as lawyers. Can the laws be much more strengthened, to be able to address this issue? Can we approach the courts to ask for more interpretation? Can we also get survivors, to be the subject of the public interest litigation?
Amid the resounding echoes of hymns and heartfelt prayers, the One Palm Stadium in Jos was transformed into a sanctuary of gratitude and unity as the residents of Plateau State gathered to celebrate the 4th anniversary of Governor Caleb Mutfwang's tenure in an interdenominational Thanksgiving service, with renowned gospel singers leading or lending their voices to the chorus of praise and worship. The air was thick with a spirit of harmony and hope.
It is the Lord that has brought me here. And I thank God that after bringing us through thick and thin, that we had to contend with forces. We had to face challenges. But through it all, we learned to trust God.
Your Excellency, by testimonies around what you have done in 1 year, many governors couldn't do it in 8 years. So as people of Plateau State, as we tell God, we are also saying to you,
the coming of His Excellency Barrister Caleb Mutfwang is like removing Plateau State from darkness to light. And he is the captain of this light. And he has indeed shown the light. And once you have the light, darkness disappears.
When he came in, we encountered a lot of challenges. But God has been faithful. And we're here to give thanks to God for what He has done.
Now, Plateau residents have been commending the governor for providing quality leadership within 1 year in office. Many of them say Mutfwang has done so much in the area of security, roads, infrastructural development, education, and youth engagement in governance.
Governor has done a lot, especially the peace we are enjoying in the state.
is something that will bring development. And even the car he brought, the reduced transportation, is something to appreciate him.
In the area of road constructions, some of the places that we never thought that road would be able to get to those areas.
All the road in Plateau State he has tied. We are praying our prayer for him that God should bless him.
Over 50% of his appointment is for the youth. So that alone has given us hope as young people.
Infrastructurally, we have seen the commencement of rehabilitation of street roads. I told the governor, I said, it is this second year that I want to see signature projects of his administration that will transform the landscape of the state.
And with respect to the removal of fuel subsidy, for about 4 or 5 years, bursary of students were not paid. But as we speak, the governor has reintroduced it, and he has actually increased it to about 300%.
Technically, we'll say we started on the 12th of January when we got our mandate back from the Supreme Court of Nigeria. But because we were sworn in on the 29th of May 2023, it's exactly a year today. If you go to the agri sector, you cannot but thank God.
Strongest points that I have noticed with His Excellency is his ability to hold on in the storm. He's not a man of panic. He's a man who is very deliberate about what he's doing.
Throughout this last 1 year, that God has been with us. And today, we look back with great nostalgia. And all we can say, Lord, we thank you.
Moving away from Jos Plateau State, the Impact Her World Foundation, a civil society organization, has partnered the United Religious Initiative to assist young girls by donating menstrual kits in honor of World Menstrual Hygiene Day. The organizer, along with other health experts, educated the girls at the Aguda Comprehensive Secondary School on proper menstrual hygiene practices.
When it was regarding the cost of accessibility to pads. So please, make sure that anything you are putting down there, vagina is clean.
The focus of this year's World Menstrual Hygiene Day is creating a period-friendly world through collective efforts. Menstrual Hygiene Day is an annual event that aims to raise awareness about the significance of proper menstrual hygiene management on a global scale. In line with this objective, the Impact Her World Foundation, in collaboration with the United Religious Initiative, not only provided valuable knowledge to young girls, but also brought them peace by distributing period kits. The organizer Nkachika Ibe emphasizes the potential impact of this initiative and encourages girls to approach the menstrual cycle with dignity and prioritize their hygiene.
What we are working on is Peace to the Girl Child through period kits, and this is because of the benevolence of the United Religious Initiative, an organization that decided to hold through their youth seed grants. We won the youth seed grants, and with the youth seed grants, we are implementing this period Peace to the Girl Child through period kit project, and also using it to mark the World Menstrual Hygiene Day. And so we are really grateful to the United Religious Initiative for selecting us to implement this project and also supporting us through it. My advice is always the same because I do this all the time. My advice is that periods don't stop. For the fact that a young girl has seen her period, it does not mean that her life has come to an end. And so because periods don't stop, the life of a girl child shouldn't stop.
Speakers provide advice to girls on navigating puberty and other important aspects of the menstrual cycle.
And be proud about it that they are women and girls. Thank you. Name is Fumi Ige, President Medical Women Association of Nigeria. Yes, Dr. Fumi Ige, President Medical Women Association of Nigeria. We are also making a statement that pads should be free. Pads should be everywhere, should be placed in public places, in public restrooms, in hotels, so that young girls can have access to pads when they need them.
Just to hear how much value they've gotten from today's program. And so to them and other girls who are watching, it is that when it comes to menstruation, it is one of the most natural things on earth. So you shouldn't be ashamed of it. Once you're able to know how to manage it, to be hygienic in the period, and to ensure that you are able to prevent diseases or health challenges in the process, is fantastic. So I really want to applaud the work that Impact Her Foundation is doing to bring this message to the girls in school.
And I came here with the main and sole aim of educating the young girls here about their hygiene and what menstruation is really about. I emphasize the fact that menstruation wasn't something for you to be ashamed about. I emphasize that menstruation is normal, it is part of a woman's life, and it's something that she has to embrace and not feel ashamed about.
So I was here to talk about puberty, the changes that occur during puberty, and the talk was majorly aimed at helping the girls to understand what is going on in their body and how they can take care of their body, adjust to the changes, and adjust to the changes in the best way they can.
This project is a collaborative effort involving several organizations, including the Lagos State Ministry of Education, District 4, the Medical Women's Association of Nigeria Lagos Chapter, Safer Hands and Health Initiative, African Youth Initiative on Crime Prevention, and the International Center for Leadership Development in Nigeria. Destiny Momo, Plus TV News.
Still ahead on the news now, Egypt's Sisi orders Prime Minister to form new cabinet. Details when we return. To join us again.
Welcome to Bayes University, Abuja, Nigeria, with a legacy of excellence and a vision for nurturing future leaders. Bayes University is in a league of its own. We're all about our people, processes, and technology.
Bayes is one of the highly rated universities in Nigeria in terms of product quality standards.
We don't just produce graduates, but groom people into employers of labor.
And it has made us understand that learning is all about three things. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn.
Bayes University Hospital offers a range of specialized services equipped with the latest technology, manned by a team of trusted professionals. And now, our vision extends beyond our walls with the Baba Ahmed University in Kano following our lead. Join us at Bayes University and invest in your future today.
Bayes University is the institution that you will get the best value for money education in Nigeria.
Bayes University. Learn to live.
Sometimes, it's not just the distance we travel. It's the gaps we close. It's not the things we buy. It's the memories we create. Sometimes it's beyond the places we go. It's the connections we make. Not just the things we taste. It's the taste of things to come. And it's never a question of if, but when. Because life is always just a bit better with American Express. Introducing the Access Bank American Express Gold Card and the Metal Platinum Card, now available through Access Bank.
An African girl somewhere is sitting at home, accompanied by dreams that seem so far away. Africa is one of the continents with the highest out-of-school percentage in education, and girls are at an early disadvantage. The sub-Saharan Africa records about 18 million out-of-school girls. This gender gap extends to the tech space with a projection of only a 33% global female workforce representation in tech firms for 2020. 2022. Let us help change the stories and numbers. Africa Agility's Project Train a Girl campaign is working to help train African girls in tech. You can donate as little as $2 or 2,000 naira to help a girl in tech get her heels in the door. Visit www.africaagility.rallyup.com/PTAG to donate.
Welcome back to other parts of the continent. The Kenyan investigation into a doomsday starvation cult has uncovered more tragic discoveries. On Monday, investigators exhumed 7 additional bodies from a forest near Malindi, where hundreds of cult victims were buried in mass graves, according to a police report. The total number of remains unearthed in this remote wilderness area along the Indian Ocean coast has now reached 436, in a case that has shocked Kenya and the world. Footage broadcast on Kenyan television showed 7 blue body bags lined up before being transported away. The self-proclaimed pastor, Paul Ntenge Mackenzie, is accused of inciting his followers to starve themselves to meet Jesus before the predicted end of the world last August. He was arrested in April last year after the initial discovery of bodies in what has become known as the Shakahola Forest Massacre. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has once again appointed Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli to lead a new government following Madbouli's resignation and Sisi's re-election for a 3rd term last year. The presidency stated that the new government has been tasked with focusing on reducing inflation, regulating markets, and attracting both local and foreign investment. Additionally, the statement highlighted the importance of maintaining national security in the face of regional and international challenges, as well as combating terrorism. The upcoming reshuffle of cabinet members and the announcement of the new cabinet's composition have not been disclosed. Outside Africa now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu denied today that he had been pressured by his coalition government to reject a ceasefire deal following United States President Joe Biden's announcement of a proposed agreement to end the fighting in Gaza.
פועלים באין ספור דרכים כדי להחזיר את החטופים שלנו. אני חושב עליהם כל הזמן. אני חושב עליהם כל הזמן. על המשפחות שלהם, על הסבל שלהם. ולכן הלכנו כברת דרך ארוכה כדי להחזיר אותם. אבל תוך כדי הפעולה הזאת, אנחנו שמרנו על מטרות המלחמה. בראשן חיסול החמאס. אנחנו מתעקשים שאנחנו נשלים גם את זה וגם את זה. וזה חלק מהמתווה. זה לא משהו שאני מוסיף עכשיו. זה לא משהו שאני מוסיף כי לחצו עליי בקואליציה. זה משהו שסיכמנו עליו בקבינט המלחמה פה אחד.
Now, Claudia Sheinbaum has been elected as Mexico's first woman president in a historic landslide victory. Mexico's official electoral authority said preliminary results showed the 61-year-old former mayor of Mexico City winning between 58% and 60% of the vote in Sunday's election. That gives her a lead of about 30 percentage points over her main rival, businesswoman Xochitl Galvez. Ms. Sheinbaum will replace her mentor, outgoing President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, on the 1st of October. The election of a woman to the highest office was an emotional moment for some. Now, Ms. Sheinbaum, a former energy scientist, has promised continuity, saying that she will continue to build on the advances made by López Obrador, further building on the welfare programs which have made the outgoing president very popular. Up next, News Now, Minister of Finance says Nigeria will receive large part of $2.2 billion World Bank loan soon. And that's in business news. Stay with us.
My name is Adejokela Sisi. I'm the founder and creative director of Planet 3R. At Planet 3R, we convert textile and plastic waste into eco-friendly products. The motivation actually came from a rural community in Ibadan here. Whenever it rains, the whole place, people will not be able to go inside the community. If it rains overnight, people will not be able to go to school, they will not be able to go to work. Anytime the water now goes away, you now realize a lot of waste came. And I was like, this is actually the root cause of this problem, improper waste management system. Then I look at it that, what can we do to solve this problem? And that was how I started using the weaving skill that I've acquired from my mom since I was 9 years old. Then I started using it to like weave those waste to now make sure that we now convert them into beautiful items like bags, shoes, even clothing. I actually participated at Womenpreneur Season 3, that was 2021. One of the things I really gained at that time was business development. You know, it's not just about the talent now or having to know how to convert the waste or having the idea, but to be able to put it into a successful business. I really appreciate what Access Bank is doing for entrepreneurs. Let us now say women now, because most of the time women don't really have much of these advantages. I love the fact that there's an initiative for women. I want to encourage you to make sure that you go and apply honestly. Your life will not remain the same again.
Welcome to Business Report. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has extended the production quota of 1.5 million barrels of crude per day for Nigeria to 2025. The Intergovernmental Organization announced the extension at its 37th OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meeting as part of the resolutions at its last ministerial meeting on November 30 last year. The oil cartel increased Nigeria's production level to 1.5 million barrels per day for 2024. Earlier, OPEC said Nigeria's production level of 1.5 million barrels per day should be maintained from January,